Tonight on Missing Persons Unit, the search continues for 53-year-old Robert Mumford and the breakthrough when he's caught on camera.
He does look familiar to me as being in here.
Robert's elderly parents think he started a new life without telling them.
Please, Robert, for your own sake and for the sake of your mother, please make contact.
Troubled New Zealand teenager Cora Hutton has come to Australia for a fresh start.
To me, she's a young girl crying out for help, for a family and a bit of love. Wait, wait, wait!
But after just weeks of being here, she's on a dangerous path.
Stop!
In Queensland, 36-year-old Robbie Nivison vanished over a year ago.
He travelled to his rental property to do some repairs, and tenant there has told us that he never actually turned up.
One of the only real clues police have is this troubled letter he wrote to his mum. And what happened to 79-year-old John Morozic? He went off to play cards, but never came home. Hi and welcome to Missing Persons Unit. People go missing for any number of reasons, from arguments to abductions. But there are also those who choose to vanish for whatever reason. And while police are often left with the task of trying to find someone who does not want to be found, their poor family is left for years asking why and where. In this next episode, you'll share the heartbreak of two such families. At the New South Wales Missing Persons Unit.
Hello?
Yeah, can I speak to Cheryl, please?
Speaking.
Cheryl, it's Senior Constable Gale from the Missing Persons Unit. How are you going?
Good, thank you.
Mandy Gale is on the phone to the Australian grandmother of 15-year-old New Zealand girl Cora Hutton. She's been missing for 5 days.
First, if you can give me a rough idea of what's happened in the last couple of days, just so I can get my head around it.
Well, nothing's happened other than Friday morning was the last time I saw her off to school.
Yeah.
She came home at 5. I waited that long, and then I left a note and said I was going out to get dinner for her.
Yeah.
And I came back and she was gone.
Back home in New Zealand, Cora was mixing with gangs. So her mum put her on a plane to Sydney to live with her nana, Cheryl. But within weeks, Cora was back to her old tricks.
How's she been in herself? Has she been any different lately? Is she...
She's sort of up and down, and yet when this happened, I sort of looked back and I thought, she's planned all this. I think she's lived that life before, likes it, and probably couldn't wait to move out and do it.
Do it again.
Yeah, yeah.
They're a worry, aren't they? I think at 15 they think they're so much older, but, you know, they're still young, you know, so... All right, will you hang tight till we get there and we'll see you soon?
All right, thank you.
OK then, bye.
Bye.
She's come over from New Zealand. Her mother was concerned about her, obviously, over in people she was hanging with over there. She's come over here to stay with her grandmother and get back on the right track, but it seems that she's possibly doing the same thing over here that she was in New Zealand. So we'll pop out and speak to her grandmother and sit down, have a chat and see if we can figure out other places they might like to go or shopping. So, yeah, different one.
Last week, we brought you the case of 53-year-old Robert Mumford. 3 months ago, he left work for the day and just vanished.
Okay, George, did you hear anything at all from Robert?
No, not a word.
Nothing from his friends or anything?
No, not a word. He had a birthday last Tuesday, and not a word there either.
His parents, Joan and George, are heartbroken, and they find it so hard to believe their son would just walk away from his comfortable life.
When he left work, he could have not worked for the rest of his life.
Yeah, you told me his entitlements. He's been there 33 years.
Yeah, 6 weeks sick leave accumulated, 8 months long service leave, and only 2 years off collecting his superannuation, which was considerable.
And not only did Robert leave behind a lifetime of savings, but his sick mum as well, who had been in hospital without knowing what the problem was.
The first 2 weeks, nobody told her. And then I saw the doctor over there, and I said, what are we going to do? And he says, she's got to be told. So we told her, and it didn't go over too good.
Since he vanished, police have received reports Robert might have been in the Newcastle area. But 3 months on, there's been no word from him. So his parents have made this difficult decision.
We've terminated his lease, packed everything up.
Nothing to indicate that he didn't intend to come back?
No.
Any clothes missing that you could...
Not that I know of. Yeah, plenty of tucker in the fridge. These blood pressure tablets, they were still there on the sink. He'd obviously taken them that morning.
And it's those blood pressure tablets he'd left behind and needs every day which make things so much worse for his sick mum.
Robert, I'm very sad that you're missing, and I wait every day for news of you. Please come back.
In Sydney's west, Mandy and Joe are on their way to interview the nana of 15-year-old runaway Cora Hutton.
We're definitely more concerned as time goes on. We know she was mixing with a bad crowd in New Zealand, and that seems to be the case over here in Australia as well, so hopefully we'll get to the bottom of it soon.
Cora has been living here with her nan, Cheryl, for the past 6 weeks.
Okay, just a couple of things I want to go through with you. Access to like money and things like that, does she have her own bank account? Or...
No.
So she's got no access to any money at all?
No, nothing, no.
So no access.
Cheryl has brought up 4 children of her own, and chasing after a difficult granddaughter is the last thing she needs in her retirement, particularly when Cora was suddenly foisted on her.
I didn't know she was coming until my son rang me and said, you've got an hour to get there. And I waited and I saw her come out and I thought, it has changed. I shouldn't say it.
She?
She, yeah. You know, and we went from there and I thought, well, we're going to be friends. That's about all that can happen.
But then, Cora's nana found these disturbing lyrics from a song that Cora had written down.
Joe, the place to spend my quiet nights, time to unwind, so much pressure. No one knows my struggles, they only just see the trouble. Not knowing it's hard to carry on when no one loves you. There has to be a place better than this in heaven. So right before I sleep, dear God, what I'm asking, remember this face, save me a place. That's, oh.
That's heavy.
That's very powerful.
Powerful and sad. It's now obvious Cora is a deeply troubled 15-year-old. After 5 days living on the streets, Mandy and Joe need to find her ASAP.
To be honest, I'm a lot more concerned now than what I was when we first got here. To me, she's a young girl crying out for help, for a family and a bit of love. And hopefully, if she comes home, we can provide some services that'll help both of them. So we need to find her sooner rather than later.
In the New South Wales Blue Mountains, police are at the parents' home of 53-year-old Robert Mumford, who vanished 3 months ago. After terminating the lease on their son's unit, they've moved all his belongings to their home for safekeeping.
It's a very extensive record collection going back many years, and there's a full set of Beatles there, there's a full set of Beach Boys, and
Loved his music.
here back, that's his clothes, the 4 suitcases full of clothes.
Yep. And you've gone right through that?
Yes, matter of fact, we've washed and ironed every item.
Yep.
Found nothing in pockets or anything like that.
So, no clues here. Just a dad clinging to his son's life through a few precious mementos. So, with Mark and Phil at a dead end, Robert's dad makes this desperate plea.
You, Robert, are the only one who knows why you have gone missing. As your disappearance has become widely known, many phone calls to us have inquired of you. You have many friends. Your mother has had a long spell in hospital and is still not well and misses you greatly. Christmas and your birthday were sad times for us both. Please, Robert, for your own sake, And for the sake of your mother, please make contact. Thank you, Robert. We hope to see you soon.
We're just on our way to Newcastle. My inquiries have shown that Robert spent the night in a hotel in Newcastle the night he went missing. I want to speak to Adam, who was a staff member on duty when Robert arrived, see if he got any indication of his state of mind, if Robert mentioned anything about going somewhere or where he'd been. Just try and find out some more general information.
Robert booked in to the hotel here on the night he went missing, okay, and you were working behind the counter out the front. Can you recall the incident at all?
Yeah, he booked in quite late. He seemed pretty happy. Just like most people, when they book in after 1 a.m, he was pretty tired. He was keen to get to his room, so it's nothing really out of the ordinary.
Nothing at all?
Nah.
Did he say anything at all to you when you come in?
Just that he was really tired, he'd been travelling, and that he was keen just to get some sleep.
These are the last images of Robert Mumford, caught on camera when he signed in at 2:30 a.m. But this wasn't the first time the hotel manager had seen him.
I'd seen him out the front earlier on in the night. He was just walking past.
How much earlier would that have been?
It was about 12:30.
It's a few hours.
Yeah, he just walked past, and then he came in sometime later. I don't really watch the clock.
Did you get the impression he was away on a trip, a business trip, a pleasure trip? Or?
Oh, like he had something to do, but I just thought he was somebody on holidays, travelling light.
So he seemed to have a purpose or something?
Yeah.
Whatever Robert was planning to do, it looks like a last-minute decision to leave. He's carrying only a small bag.
And now that was interesting. The next step, there's a possible sighting of Robert up around Warners Bay a while ago. So I'll go talk to the local police, see if they can give me any more details.
Back in the search for 15-year-old Cora Hutton, police are checking out the local skate park where she hangs out.
There's a real concern for this girl who lives in this area. Do you know where she is? Do you know who she hangs around with at school?
Do you know where she lives?
Does she come here? We know where she lives. We know where she lives. She's straight to her family.
I don't know why she went away. Why? Can't say, it's kind of...
Do you know her? Listen,
yeah,
no, I'm not mucking around.
I know her.
All right.
She goes to my school.
All right, well, come over here because I want to know because we've got a fair idea what she's doing, and where is she?
I'm not sure where she is, but I think I know why she ran away.
The kids tell Mandy that playground gossip is the reason Cora has disappeared.
So someone's basically started a rumour, and because that's the thing, you guys...
Because after the rumours, she hasn't been to school.
So you can see how damaging it is to say bad things about people, can't you? Do you know who else she hangs around with?
The children also tell Mandy Cora normally hangs out with a couple of girls from school who are missing as well.
And were you there today?
No, yeah, I was there today.
But were they there today? So none of them were there today? I know. They go all the time, I know. I know. They go missing a lot too.
Yeah, I think they run away again.
Yeah. We think they're all probably together, so we're just trying to figure out roughly where they are, where they hang out, whose house they'd hang out at.
Where does Amy live?
Mandy reckons if Cora's heard the bad rumours about her, she might be hiding at a friend's house. So police head off to canvass the homes of some of her friends. Meanwhile, Mark and Dan arrive at Belmont Police Station, north of Sydney. They're here to check out a report of a second sighting of Robert Mumford at a local supermarket. A newspaper had run a story about his disappearance.
What can you tell me about this phone call that we received?
Basically, there was an article in the Newcastle Morning Herald, I believe. Allegedly, within 2 minutes of reading the newspaper article, she contacted Crime Stoppers or the police assistance line. And I think within 20 minutes of receiving the call, the police has made an extensive patrol of the supermarket area, but were unable to locate Mr Mumford.
So it seems fairly credible. It's just...
Might indicate that he's been up here for a while then.
Yeah, for a bit of luck, hanging around, they might know him up there, so we get up there, show the photo around, hopefully someone else will recognise him and get somewhere else to go.
Yeah.
It's Mark's best lead yet, so he heads straight to the shopping centre. Back on the trail of teenage runaway Cora Hutton,
We've had some information come through on some addresses that Cora may be at. The addresses are of girls she goes to school with, so we're going to pop round and check them out and hopefully knock on the door and she'll be around. Well, I could easily hang here then, couldn't I?
no answer.
Someone in there from him.
But Mandy thinks she can hear someone inside.
It's in there.
Still no answer. So she looks around and finds this open window.
That shouldn't be open. Sorry to bother you. Just trying to find out if the people next door, are they there often, or is it normal for them to leave a window open?
No.
Mandy thinks the girls might have bolted out the window just as she and Joe arrived.
Who lives in there? Are they adults or just kids? Or
No, there's adults and a couple of kids.
A couple of kids. There's a girl and a young boy.
When Mandy looks inside, there's no one around, but it certainly resembles an untidy teenager's room.
It's now shut.
Police may have just missed the girls. For Cora's nana, Cheryl, the sooner they're found, the sooner they can start rebuilding their relationship.
Cora, this is Nan. I love you. And I think we can still make a go of it and be excellent friends, just like Mum wrote to me and said. We all want the best for you, me especially. I miss you and I love you. Come home.
At the New South Wales Missing Persons Unit...
Hello?
Hello, can I speak to Anna Morzic, please?
Yes.
Constable McIntyre is on the phone to Anna Morozic. Her 79-year-old husband went to play cards 2 nights earlier and hasn't been seen since.
What can you tell me about John?
He leaves home on Tuesday about 7 o'clock. He usually go to play bridge. Usually once a week come about 11 o'clock.
Right.
So 2 days he wasn't here. So I report yesterday when he was not come one night.
Polish immigrants, Anna and John, have been in Australia for 58 years. For the last 10 of those, John has been a regular on the bridge circuit. He has never missed a game before.
OK, Miss Morzic, we'll see you in about an hour's time.
All right, thank you very much. See
Thank you.
Then. Bye.
Bye-bye. I can tell by the tone of her voice that Miss Morzic is very worried. It's been 2 days now since she's seen her husband. He has had some heart problems in the recent past. The heart problem might be the cause of why he's missing.
Back in the search for teenager Cora Hutton, Mandy and Joe have arrived at the home of another of her school friends.
How you going? After Cora.
Oh, she's not here.
Yeah.
I promise I'm not... She's not here.
When did you see her last?
She was with my younger sister.
Do you know where they're gone? Her
no.
grandmother's really sick, that's all. Can I speak to your sister?
Yeah.
Thanks. I want to go and have a look.
There's certainly someone in the back shed who's very camera shy. It's now looking a bit sus.
Can you open the gate just so we can see for ourselves, please?
Mandy and Joe head in to check it out.
Greg, just watch the shed in case she comes out.
Police did find 2 girls in the shed, but neither of them were Cora.
We explained a lot to them what's been going on, and I think they understand now how important it is that we find Cora. Hopefully word will get around, which it usually does, and she'll surface somewhere, and if not, we'll have to try and make up some more contacts, get in touch with the school and see if there's anyone else she hangs around with and go from there.
Across town, police are on their way to interview the wife of 79-year-old John Morozic.
The concerns are that he's an elderly gentleman. He suffers from a heart condition. He had a bypass 2 years ago, and he's been gone 2 nights now. And that's a concern, and it becomes more of a concern if he stays away a lot longer than that.
When Doug and Adam arrived, Anna is frantic.
I think there's something good.
Hello, Miss Morzic. How are you?
I think it's...
You okay?
It's obvious just how worried Anna is about John.
About 7 o'clock evening, he left home, and usually he come about 11 o'clock, but this time he didn't come.
Do you know any of John's friends? No names?
He has no friends.
No friends?
No.
What about maybe just people who play cards with him?
Ah, yes. The people from the bridge call him always.
Okay, all right.
Nobody else. But maybe he wasn't feel well. He was at hospital about a month ago because he has some pain here.
Okay.
Police now realise they need to find John because he's just had major heart surgery and needs constant medical care. "15-year-old Cora Hutton has now been missing for 6 days. A visit to her school has given police new leads.
We now know that our missing person was seen at Bankstown yesterday afternoon in company with another 2 girls and some boys. So we've got more definite locations now to check. There's a cafe, we believe, down at Bankstown, and there's also the railway station to check out. So and head off down to Bankstown and see what that turns up.
But on their way there, they pass by the skate park and see a group of kids who run off when they see the cops.
That's them.
It could be Cora, so Mandy and Joe run in before she has a chance to disappear. But when they get there, she's gone.
Why do you look so worried when we pull up? I wasn't. I wouldn't even bother to get out had you not panicked and stuck something up your skirt and looked really worried and everyone took off. It makes us suspicious then. Can you see?
Mandy is sure these kids are hiding
I
something.
don't know where they are. Why don't I believe you? Boy, he's so secretive when we pull up and all that. What's going on? Nothing. If she goes and does something silly, how are you all going to feel? All I want to do is see her. She's not getting locked up. I'm not doing anything. I just want to know she's alive and well. That's all I want to do.
It's so frustrating for cops like Mandy. As hard as they try, they often don't get the trust from kids they need.
I'm starting to feel like we're going a little bit round in circles. The walls are up. The kids don't want to talk. When we got here, a whole group of kids took off through the park, but they're not ready to admit that that was them. We don't know for sure, so we'll head over to Bankstown and, yeah, 1 step forward, 2 steps back at the moment.
John Mrozic is 79. He has a heart condition and has been missing now for 3 days. Police are desperate to find someone who might know where he is.
Maybe someone from the bridge.
It looks like there might be some phone numbers here from his friends from Bridge, so we might ring them, eh?
Yes.
How's that? Okay, there's some phone numbers here, so we'll try and ring these numbers.
Have a look.
It looks like he's got an account with the Commonwealth Bank.
What's the date on this?
We've got a doctor's card there.
We might take that.
Write that down.
And then Anna reveals something that will surely help.
He was, Melbourne, yes. And he stayed with some woman in Melbourne, and they corresponded to each other. And I know she got a daughter here in Sydney. When the lady from Melbourne come here, he meet them. But where they live, I know only they live in Sydney, but I don't know anything else. Maybe she can, I don't know. I don't know, but I think he was in the club.
Maybe if we look in these books, we might be able to find that address and maybe a phone number, so we might be able to contact him that way.
But
it's a good lead they could have done with a lot earlier. But before making inquiries in Melbourne, police will check out a local lead first.
We've got some good information from Anna, so we're going to go down to the local Polish club, make some inquiries there, and see how we go from there.
Meanwhile, in Queensland's Missing Persons Unit, Senior Sergeant Jim Ryan is investigating the case of 36-year-old Robbie Nivison. He left his Brisbane home 13 months earlier and never returned.
He travelled to his friend's place in Lismore, where he dropped off his dog Basil, and said that he was going round to the other house that he owned, his rental property, to do some repairs, and tenant there has told us that he never actually turned up.
Robbie, seen here at a family wedding, has a history of taking off when things become too much. But what was different this time was 3 days after he left, he sent letters to his loved ones.
The letter to his mum told his mum that he loved her and that he needed to get away for a while. There was a similar letter of a similar vein to his friend who's looking after his dog, that he needed to get away.
So Jim and Detective Carmel Harris decide to find out more about Robbie's emotional letters. They head off into rural New South Wales to meet with his family. Back in Sydney's west, Doug and Adam arrive at the Polish club where John Morozic plays bridge.
Excuse me, gentlemen, do you recognise that photo at all?
I recognise the photo, but he does very, very seldom.
You're looking for a gentleman. We're wondering if we could show you a photo, you might be able to recognise him, or whether you've seen him lately.
That's all right.
Sometimes those pictures are not very reliable.
Yeah, that's the best we can do at this time. No?
Yeah, I know him.
When did you last see him?
He used to come to play bridge in Burwood.
In Burwood?
Mondays.
On Mondays?
Yes. A reserve club? Yes. Yeah? Yes.
So how long ago did you see him?
3-4 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, with no sign of John in Sydney, Doug's only lead now is to find his lady friend in Melbourne. In the case of 36-year-old Robbie Nivison, Queensland detectives have crossed the border into New South Wales to interview his family. The Nivison family have lived on this rural property near Lismore in northern New South Wales since the early 1800s. It's now run by Robbie's two brothers, Hugh and Dougal.
How was he when you last spoke to him? What was his demeanour on the phone?
You know, from our point of view, we hadn't noticed anything out of the ordinary. So, whatever our conversations we were in contact with, for us, had been perfectly normal up until that stage.
We've spoken to some of his friends, and they said, "Oh, look, Robbie was, would get down at sometimes, and other times he wouldn't." But that's the way he was. He was a little bit, he was hot and cold. He was not a lot in the middle. No, nothing unusual for him. So.
What was unusual was this farewell letter that Robbie sent to his mum 3 days after he vanished.
Just said, "I've had enough of, the city life, and I can't do it. I'm a happy and spiritual man, and I'll hopefully find something better." He signs it off, "Your loving son forever, Robert."
A question which I think is important to the investigation, even though it may be a little bit, well, it's pure speculation on anybody's behalf. But do you think it's possible that he has done some harm to himself?
I think it's entirely possible that that he decided to take his own life. Reading the letter he wrote to Mum. On a positive side, there, as Duke said, I'm going away for a break. I'm not going to see you again for a while, if not ever. Or it might mean I'm properly going away. I'm going to go and take my own life somewhere.
13 months on, and his mum is still too fragile to be interviewed by police.
I think particularly for Mum, we'd like to know one way or the other. If he doesn't want to be in contact with the family, that's fine, but I think Mum would like to know that he's alive, if that's the case. Yeah. And if he is dead, she'd like to know that too.
Detectives have arrived in Nashua, in northern New South Wales, where Robbie left his dog Basil with his close mate Mark.
Mark. Yes. Jim Ryan from Missing Persons. How are you? Good to meet you. Carmel Harris.
Hey, Carmel. Hi. Come here.
Thank you.
Jim's hoping Mark has a sense of what Robbie's plans were after he dropped off his dog.
Did you know he was coming before he turned up?
He called and said that he was going to come down and drop Basil off for a couple of hours while he went into town and did some work on the house for the tenant.
Right, yeah.
And could he leave the dog here, which he did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he left Basil here and then he said he'd be back in a couple of hours to pick him up.
He seemed perfectly happy.
Cool, calm, collected, very happy.
Didn't seem at all depressed.
No, I didn't get any feeling that he wasn't going to come back.
All right.
I was very surprised when I didn't hear from him.
But 3 days later, he did hear from Robbie when he also received a letter from Alice Springs.
What did you think when you received that letter?
So what on earth are you doing in Alice Springs? And why have you written it that you know, why haven't you come back?
Yeah, okay. So, is this completely out of character, or has he sort of taken off and just disappeared before? Or?
He has taken off and done drives away. I think every now and then it's sort of like his pressure release valve to get in the car and just buzz off. Last time he did it, he put Basil in the car, which was about 3 months before he left the last time. Put Basil in the car, went for a drive out through Tenterfield, Broken Hill, and then ended up down near Melbourne and came back. I think he doesn't want to be found. Yeah, that's the situation.
If Robbie has started a new life somewhere, he hasn't broken the law, but his family do need to know he's safe.
Thank you very
All
much.
right. Thanks very much. Nice to meet you. Thanks very much for your time.
Pleasure.
See you again.
So while Jim and Carmel continue their investigation, Mark will still care for Basil. Back in the search for 15-year-old Cora Hutton,
Just going to ask.
Mandy is canvassing the Bankstown city centre where Cora was last seen.
We're looking for a missing girl. That's her there. It's a pretty old picture, though.
Yeah, that's her. I remember seeing her around. That's her. I just seen him like half an hour ago.
Where were they?
I was sitting right here, and then they walked around to the net cafe. And was that with the white? No. Yeah. The girl with the white? They might be at home base. The girl with the white? They might be in home base.
Home Base is a local youth cafe.
Youth centre on the corner.
So Mandy and Joe head straight to the cafe in the hope the girls are still there.
Only problem is we stick out like a sore thumb, and if they see us first, they're going to go and do a runner. Hello. Can we just speak to the girls over there? They left, have they? What was your name?
Ben.
Ben.
Cora and her two friends have been here.
Just so they can come straight back. Yeah. Yep, sweet. Thanks, Ben.
Police are now only minutes behind them.
We're probably as close as we can be at the moment. We've spoken to Ben. He confirmed the three of them have been there, left half an hour ago. So just seems to be the same thing everywhere we go. So he's going to get in touch with them, hopefully get them back there, and we'll be able to go in and speak to them. So we'll stay out of the way for a little while and wait for our phone to ring and hopefully sight the three girls.
Queensland detectives have travelled to Lismore in northern New South Wales to interview the tenant of Robbie Nivison's property. Robbie said he was coming here to do repairs on the day he disappeared.
As far as you know, has anybody sort of come around here, sort of looking for him, just to drop in and say good day? No one's come around and said, oh, does Robert still live here or anything?
When he was first said to be missing, a few people came and, I think they were just friends, local friends. Yeah, but that's all, no one else. Yeah. Sometimes we get strange cars up the street, people looking, but who knows, yeah.
And what about any repairs or anything like that on the house? Who's been taking care of that?
I've been just handling that, yep. Yeah. Just fixed it how I could and took it out of the rent and put what was left into his bank account. Yeah, and just kept all receipts and stuff like that. Yeah.
Police check records and Robbie has not been using his accounts. It's not a good sign because he's either made a complete break from his previous life or he's come to harm. In the chase for runaway 15-year-old Cora Hutton, Mandy has just received a call from the youth centre where Cora and her two friends were last seen.
That was Ben. He's made an appointment to meet up with the three girls next Tuesday at Belmore at 3 o'clock. So I'm hoping this might be some more information.
But then, this sudden tip-off from one of the kids Mandy spoke to earlier. After 6 days on the run,
guys, don't run.
Mandy has just spotted teenager Cora Hutton.
Cora. Come here. No. Come here. Come here.
But once police catch up with her, things look as if they could spiral out of control.
Listen, all right. Stop. Wait. Just let me explain to you, because you can explain some sense to them.
But once Mandy and Joe settle things down,
Can you, like, hose us up? Because they're, like...
They eventually get the chance of a few moments with Cora.
Cora, your grandmother is worried sick, and your mum, okay?
I want to drink.
Yeah, come and sit in it. Spoke to your grandmother. For someone to take in a 15-year-old when she doesn't really know you, that's such a good thing. And she wants the world for you, and she's terrified something bad's going to happen to you. She's told your mum, and your mum said she would drop everything to come over here to be with you, if that's what you want. Is that what you want?
I want her to move over here.
Well, maybe that's something you can talk about if she comes over. If you guys can show me where you want to be or what house you want to live at, and they're going to look after you, and your nan's okay with that, and it's just till things get sorted out till your mum comes. But we have to make sure that it's a place that you're safe. I really feel for them. We've heard so many different sides, but once you meet them and you sit down and you talk with them, like, I've never felt badly towards them, and I know our unit doesn't do that. We're here to help these kids and try and find somewhere where they're safe and they're happy and they're comfortable. Hopefully, we can put a bit of faith back, a bit of trust back between the police and them, because I know they're really angry at the moment. Find them somewhere where they're safe, where everyone's agreeant to where they're staying. And the good thing is Cora really wants to see her mum, so... Yeah, so fingers crossed it'll have a good result, get the result everybody wants. So, fingers crossed.
The Robbie Nivison investigation has now brought Queensland detectives to Sydney to speak with Robbie's other good friend, David.
Kim Ryan, David, how are you?
David and Robbie have been mates for 15 years. They've shared homes in both Sydney and on the Gold Coast. David tells police about a bizarre call from Robbie a month after he disappeared.
It was a call that came through to my mobile. It was a really irate, flustered person on the other end of the phone. Very flustered, really agitated, and I'm like, come on, calm down. I knew at this stage that there was problems going on. I said, you can talk to me about anything. We've had many different situations in our friendship. I said, I don't care what it is. You need to let your family know you're okay, because I know his mum's elderly. And at that point, the phone call finished and just hung up. It did sound like a payphone as well, because there was like a coin. There was a lot of noise, a lot of background noise. So that was all.
To the best of your knowledge, the voice that spoke to you on the phone that night was him?
As far as I'm concerned, yeah.
Okay.
This irrational call reinforces the worrying messages in the letters Robbie sent his mother and mate, Mark.
Knowing the content of that letter, what's your interpretation of that content?
Given the content of the letter and the fact that he handed up his dog Basil, I suppose the resolution I've reached is that he's done something to himself, and I just hope he wasn't in any pain. That's all I can think of.
David believes he'll never see Robbie again. But back on the family farm, his brother will never give up hope.
Robbie, if you're watching, drop in and see us. We'd love to see you any time. And I've got a short note from Mum. It says, please come home, Robert. I miss you so much. I also miss you popping in to see me, and I really miss our yearly holiday together. I love you, Mum, and she really is missing you. Thanks.
In the ongoing case of 53-year-old Robert Mumford, police are following up a Crime Stoppers call about a sighting at this Newcastle supermarket.
Hello. Good. Therese, is it?
Yep.
Therese, I'm Mark. I spoke to you on the phone.
Yep.
We're looking for a missing person.
Yeah.
Okay. Does that picture look familiar or...?
He looks familiar to me because, like, we have a fair few customers and, like, we have 26,000 a week. And there's a few that sort of you stop and have a look at for whatever reason, the way they're dressed and that. And he does look familiar to me, yeah, as being in here.
With the clothing, does he look like he may be living it rough? Doing it rough?
Yeah, he did. I'd say almost homeless.
Very interesting. Sounds promising.
If it was Robert she saw, it doesn't make any sense that he's living rough when he has his life savings in the bank.
Okay, what I'd like to do, if I could, I'll leave this poster with you.
Yeah.
If you could put it up in an area somewhere where all your staff access.
Yeah.
Just let him know that he is missing and he's possibly hanging around the area. Okay, his parents are desperate.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
See you later.
See you.
That sounds fairly promising. The manager believes she may have seen Robert hanging around fairly regularly. Looks like he's doing it a bit tough, which should kind of fit in. I'll have to wait and see. Left the poster there. She'll talk to the staff. Hopefully that'll encourage a bit of someone to come forward. Hopefully we can find something. We'll keep going. Hopefully find him sooner or later. Give Mum and Dad a bit of good news.
And back at his mum and dad's home, they're not giving up at all.
I am confident that he's going to turn up. I just feel it. I'm just confident that he is going to turn up. And I know that Mark and his offsiders haven't found anything, so that strengthens my belief.
After 3 days on the case of 79-year-old John Morozic, there's finally some good news.
Apparently Mr Morozic's arrived home, so we're going to go down there now so he can be cited by police. I'm curious to know where he's been. Hopefully he can fill in the details. Obviously Anna's been really worried about him and he has got some health problems, so we want to make sure that he's okay and that Anna's pulling up okay too.
When they get there, the relief is written all over Anna's face.
I believe you've had some good news.
Come on.
Mr Morozic, how are you, sir? Constable Adam Marsh. Very nice to meet you, sir. This is Senior Constable Green.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, you were our missing person. I believe you come home safely and everything's okay. And...
Yes, I come. Yeah, he wasn't missing, no.
Yeah? You went away on a holiday or something?
Yeah, I went south to Melbourne.
You went south to Melbourne?
Yeah.
So you enjoyed yourself down there as well?
Oh, yes, it's nice, very nice.
Although John and Anna live in the same house, they're separated. John has been visiting that lady friend in Melbourne. Problem is, he didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, Anna was very worried about you?
We are separated. That's a problem because there is not much communication between us.
Yeah.
Because of that problem.
Yeah, just if you could let someone know. Next time.
Yeah,
just so we don't have to
I
worry
may
about
go
you,
to Brisbane for
You're going to Brisbane next time, all right. Yeah. You make sure you tell someone, okay? Just so we know that you're all right. I guess the moral of the story is to just tell someone when you're going away. It's okay to go away, but make sure you tell someone. And I guess it's back to the office. Happy result.
Every year, over 35,000 people go missing. Have you seen 41-year-old Patrick Gallaty, who disappeared from Campbelltown, New South Wales in 2001? Or 62-year-old Maureen Mattison, last seen in Seven Hills, New South Wales in 2003. And 36-year-old Stephen Goldsmith, missing from New Farm, Queensland in 2000. If you have any information, please call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.